Dana and Brian Hiltner?
Unfortunately, the Sunrise Tequila Bar, they are not great neighbors and they are not friends. They're despicable.
So I've never heard the answer. I'm not sure if there is an answer, but why do Dana and Brian Hiltner have parking on the street where nobody else can park? It's like their own little section of, like, I wouldn't be able to park there. I'd be towed. What if a beachgoer went and tried to park their car there all day long to go to the beach? That'd be towed in a minute. But they get to park there 24/7, 365 days a year. Did they pay for a sticker? Did they pay the city?
No.
Why do they get to park
I'm
there?
not aware.
Like, shouldn't they be towed? Did they ever get towed? Have they ever been towed? Have they gotten a ticket for that? Well, I did call last summer and the police came and maybe they moved their car. There was extra trash and I guess Brian pulled up in his car and started yelling and screaming at my tenant. He's like, his Range Rover is like in the middle of the street. He's screaming at me, throwing the trash in front of our driveway, making it very difficult so he can park his car where it shouldn't even be. Everybody's looking the other way, but does anybody else in town have a free on-street parking spot? They do.
Our family has owned this property for over 50 years. We've lived here. It's 4 generations. However, this whole Sunrise Tequila Bar that went up was just, we've lived around commercial properties all this time. We've never had a problem. They've all been great neighbors. They're friends. Unfortunately, the Sunrise Tequila Bar, they are not great neighbors and they are not friends. They're despicable. Boom, boom, boom. I had guests, company. Nobody could sleep. I had to call the police. You know, they're having workout classes. Okay, so I don't think that was part of the planning approval process. I don't think that was ever discussed because they were supposed to open at 10 a.m., I thought. So the classes start at 8:30 in the morning. It's yoga and Zumba. They have instructors. It's on the rooftop deck. So we did send a letter to the health department, what kind of enforcement the city can do for something like that, because that was not in the original plans.
So you think on a commercial property that has its CO and mercantile that they shouldn't be allowed to have a class in there?
I do, being that they serve food and alcohol. So people are sweating. If you work out hard, things are, sweat, but whatever. I think it's disgusting personally. It just wasn't an approved use for that space. There's so many violations that they're doing, and I don't see that they're being enforced at all. I mean, we call all the time.
You're right. They've done a lot of things that aren't fair to the neighbors.
Sure.
And I will try to arrange
Okay.
a meeting with them. And maybe you're right about this what would they do? Have the microphone or something with the yoga class? You're here. I wouldn't be happy either.
All right.
Are these fixed windows? So we're going to be back to the same old mess in the summer.
Microphone.
So if they're going to be open, we're going to be back to the same old mess in the summertime. Is it conditioned up there?
Did they say they're going to air condition, right?
We were worried about the windows possibly being open, and they mentioned that they were going to try to condition that air.
What about the louvered ceiling? That's where the music's coming throughout the louvered ceiling.
They assured us they would have the louvered ceiling closed. We did suggest possibly insulating it. They did say that they would talk to their engineer about that.
And we've talked about how it's Brian and Dana's cars that are in the loading zone, and that's why they're blocking our driveway. Why do Dana and Brian Hiltner have parking on the street where nobody else can park? It's like their own little section of, like, I wouldn't be able to park there. I'd be towed. What if a beachgoer went and tried to park their car there all day long to go to the beach? That'd be towed in a minute. But they get to park there 24/7, 365 days a year.